Hey guys, this is Candle, and welcome to another gaming pickups video, another collection update. It hasn't actually been that long since my last one because I've actually gone out and bought some games. Like I said last time, I had a lot of real life expenses I had to deal with last year. I'm still looking to get a new chair. I'm thinking of a Secret Labs Titan Evo, so I haven't gotten that yet. I'm probably going to be getting that soon. So there are a few other expensive things I want to get. I also want to restart my Adobe subscription at some point, but that's neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and get into the games here because we have a good size stack, and we have a good size stack because my game collection going into this year was about 1,120 games, and I realized that I could get it up to 1,250 games by the end of the year if I get an average of 10 to 12 games per month. So I got 12 games this month. About half of them are recent releases, new releases, recent releases, and the other half are retro games for once. So let's go ahead and we'll dive into the new releases first, and we're going to start off with Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. I almost didn't pick this up because it's not really a remaster. They didn't really change anything. It's more of a director's cut. You know how when certain PS4 games got ported to the PS5, they got added content and stuff like that, like Ghost of Tsushima, Death Stranding, Devil May Cry 5. They got extra content, so they were like director's cuts or special editions, stuff like that. Well, it's kind of the same thing here. It's like the exact same as the PS4 version, but it has like extra content, some deleted levels with director commentary, some there's a new roguelike mode. I haven't actually opened it up or played it yet because, well, I've been getting back through Final Fantasy VII Remake in advance of Rebirth coming out at the end of next month, and I've been trying to get the platinum for that. And so I'm up to chapter 14 on hard mode, and then I have a couple other trophies to wipe out, and then I got to do the intermission DLC and all that. So I haven't really had too much time to play other things. As you'll notice from a lot of the stack, I mean, half of it I just got today. So anyways, I am thinking of possibly coming back and doing some Let's Plays, so I might pop this open for that, considering I did the original Last of Us remastered. So, do part 2 remastered as well. Might be good. However, I am, there is something else I want to do that would require a lot more time and effort that I haven't, gone into yet. But anyways, I am looking forward to playing through this game again eventually. Like I said, I almost didn't pick it up because it was it's not really a remaster. It's more of a director's cut. And if you already have the PS4 version, you can get a digital upgrade to the PS5 version, to the remastered version with all the new content for just $10. Otherwise, the physical copy is $50. So, me being a collector, me loving physical, and the fact that this is probably going to be the last generation where physical has a major presence, I had to pick it up. So, something else I ended up picking up was Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Big Prince of Persia fan, although I do prefer more the acrobatic 3D games like the Sands of Time games, the 2008 reboot, that kind of stuff. This is more of a Metroidvania, and it's enjoyable, but I haven't gotten too far into it. Like I said, I've been playing, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That has consumed like the entire, not Rebirth, remake. That has consumed the entire last month in preparation for Rebirth. So hopefully in the next month or so, I'll have more of a chance to play this. But yeah. Something else I got, and I ended up ordering this online because nobody had it locally when it came out. And then I as soon as the copy came in online, I went to Best Buy and they had it. But yeah, it is Another Code Recollection. This is the collection of Another Code and Another Code R. So it's Another Code 2 Memories and Another Code R, Journey to Lost Memories, remade for the Switch. These were a pair of DS games, only the first of which actually came out in North America. It wasn't published as Another Code. It was actually published as Trace Memory. So Trace Memory on the DS is the original Another Code 2 Memories. So definitely looking forward to playing through the remake of that, as well as its sequel, which, again, I've never played because it never released in the West until now with this remake. I also picked up the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney trilogy for Switch. I actually grabbed digitally the second two Apollo Justice games, Dual Destinies, Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies and Phoenix Wright Spirit of Justice, on the 3DS before the eShop shut down. Because at the time, those were the only ways you could get those games in the West here. They got physical versions in Japan, but they were only released digitally here in the West. So I ended up grabbing those because I'm like, oh, I might never be able to get a chance to legitimately play these outside of, piracy and emulation on PC. And then a few months later, they announced that this was coming. So I do want to pick up the other two Ace Attorney collections on Switch. There's the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which was I think that was the first time those games were released in the West. I'm not sure. And then the original Phoenix Wright trilogy was ported to the Switch as well. And I want to pick those up. So I haven't gotten into this yet. I've popped it into my Switch. But again, Final Fantasy VII Remake just consuming all my time. So I haven't, started it up yet. But since I already played, Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, I'm skipping straight past that one, jumping right into Dual Destinies. So I'll have to play through the first court case again, because I dipped out during the second one last time around. So anyways, definitely looking forward to playing more of this. I'm hoping that with them having brought all of the Ace Attorney games to, all of the, the actual visual novel Ace Attorney games to Switch. Now, I'm hoping that eventually they'll do a collection for Ace Attorney Investigations, because we only ever got the first one here in the U.S. The second one was exclusive to Japan, never came out in the West. So I would love to see those brought forward, and maybe, some new Ace Attorney games as well. I think they might be working on another one, but I'm not sure. Anyways, that rounds it out for the new releases. I do have a relatively recent release I ended up picking up, and that is Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Now, I got this because, I love Pikmin. I still haven't played Pikmin 4. I need to remedy that at some point. But I love Pikmin. I enjoyed Pikmin 3 on the Wii U. Deluxe has, more extra content and stuff like that. But I ended up having to order this off of eBay, and it's a sealed copy. I haven't opened it yet. But I ordered this off of eBay because nobody around here has it in stock anymore. Like, I don't even think the used game stores, not even the GameStops, but also the Exchange, which is where I got, the rest of this stack. I don't think that they really have it right now. And this is one of those games that I think is out of print now. So it's getting harder and harder to find. So that's why I popped on eBay and grabbed it real quick before it disappeared or the price shot up and stuff like that. I do still need to get Pikmin 1 and 2 for the Switch. That is on my list of things to get soon. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So look forward to that soon as well. So that is it again for recent releases. The rest of this is retro games. And we're going to start out with the oldest one. And that is Bubble Bobble for the NES. This was, I don't know if this was an actual arcade cabinet or not, but this is definitely an arcade style game. 1 player, 2 player, but it's a really fun game. And I was first introduced to this through the internet, through like different retro videos, reviews and stuff like that, before eventually trying it out myself on the NES Classic, and really enjoyed it. So I'm glad to actually add a physical copy to my collection now. So definitely glad to have this. I finally picked up a new Xbox 360 game. I haven't gotten one of those in a long time. This is actually one that I had previously. I got it when it first came out. The performance was terrible. It's massive, frame rate drops, massive stuttering. So I traded it back in and got the PC version instead. And I've sadly never actually beaten it. One of these days I will. But I got the 360 version back into my collection just to round it out and stuff like that. And that is The Last Remnant. This came from a almost experimental period in Square Enix's history where they were putting out a lot of JRPGs on the Xbox 360. Not just, Final Fantasy 11 and the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy, but Last Remnant, Infinite Undiscovery, and a few others as well. And this is an interesting one where the world is very reminiscent of Final Fantasy 12, where you've got like all these interesting races. Like one of them is like these 4-armed cat people and stuff like that. And you've got, actually it reminds me a lot of Final Fantasy 16 as well with the Mother Crystals, where you've got these massive, remnants of ancient technology that are scattered around the world and civilizations have cropped up around them. So it reminds me a bit of the Mother Crystals from 16. But what was really interesting about this game is the combat system, because you control a party of up to 25 characters simultaneously. So it's really more of like an army battle system, except it's also like a JRPG, turn-based battle system. So it's very, very interesting. One of these days I'll actually play through it all the way. But for now, this is just going to sit on my shelf and look pretty. The rest of this are... Uh-oh. Sorry about that. I have a piece of paper uh, taped to the top of my webcam that I put down for privacy concerns. I just kind of flipped down. So, so the rest of these are PlayStation games, though most of them are PS3. So we're going to start out with 3D Dot Game Heroes, which is a little bit hard to find nowadays. It used to be more expensive. I actually picked up this copy for like $50, and I swear this, a few years ago, this game was going for like $150 or more. Maybe like 120 bucks. But this is a kind of like a Zelda-like game with a voxel-based aesthetic. So it's kind of similar to Minecraft in the fact that everything is made out of little blocks, except instead of, the blocks being these, massive like 1 meter, 1 cubic meter thing, like you can see it from the main character here, he is one, massive voxel type thing. So this is a really interesting game, and I've always wanted to try it out. So I'm definitely glad to add it to my collection. And, it's, complete, everything. Manual, disc, everything. I also picked up the PS3 version of Tomb Raider 2013, which finally rounds out the Tomb Raider games for PS3 for my collection. Because I already had Tomb Raider Underworld and the Tomb Raider Legends trilogy, which includes Tomb Raider Underworld. But I was missing 2013 because I had gotten that on Xbox at the time. I think because the Legends trilogy was only, mostly the Legends trilogy was like complete on Xbox 360. Tomb Raider Legends, Tomb Raider Anniversary launched on 360. They got ported to PS3 much later as part of that Tomb Raider trilogy collection. So I think Tomb Raider 2013 I played on 360, and then Rise of the Tomb Raider was exclusive to 360 and Xbox One. I still need to get Rise of the Tomb Raider for 360 to round that out. But definitely glad to add this to my collection. I am also really looking forward to the Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 remaster collection coming out in a couple weeks here. So, if I start doing Let's Plays again, I might do those. Again, no promises though, because I'm torn on whether or not to actually do Let's Plays or this other thing that's in my head that I really want to do, but just requires too much time and energy, which is why I haven't done it yet. But anyways, Tomb Raider 2013, definitely glad to add this to my collection. Eventually I'll get the Survivor Trilogy on PS4, because I have them on 360, or not 360, on Xbox One, but I want them on PS4 because I would love to go through and get all the trophies, get the platinums for those. Yeah, definitely glad to add that. Something else is a game that I almost got back on the 360 because that was where I played the demo back in the day, and that is Split Second, which is this really interesting racing game where basically on like the second or third lap, on later laps, the track would change. Like there would be like this like disaster type thing. Like you're on an airport, track, and between the second or third laps, you're an airport where an airplane would land or crash or something. It would change the layout of the track, which is this really interesting concept. And what's really, really funny though is this was published by Disney Interactive Studios, which you don't really see them doing like non-Disney things. But yeah, the demo was hella fun back in the day. I just never got around to actually picking up the game. So I'm definitely looking forward to playing it now. The only gripe I have is, if I remember correctly, this game does suffer a bit from rubber banding, which is basically when, some games, to keep the tension up for racing games, sometimes they will do what's called rubber banding, which is where they will improve the AI or, improve the speed of the AI opponents so that they're, a challenge, except, it keeps being this back and forth thing where you're never really secure in your position. And sometimes it really is just nice to get out in front and stay out in front the whole match. But, when rubber banding goes bad is when, you cannot get to that front position and stuff like that. So anyways, definitely interested in checking this out. The last PS3 game I picked up is, I think the cover of this is actually maybe a little bit sun-bleached. I'm not sure, but it is Vanquish, which is this interesting third-person shooter. I think it's cover-based from Platinum Games. Yeah, not really well known for doing cover-based shooters, but this was a cover-based shooter from Platinum Games that used a lot of, very fast-paced action, which is really weird for a cover-based shooter, but it was a lot of verticality as well. And this actually got a port to the PS4 and Xbox One, where it was bundled with the original Bayonetta. So definitely looking forward to trying this at some point, playing it out. And that brings me to the last game I picked up, which is by far the most expensive game I got in this one. And it's one of the rarest, not the rarest, but it's one of the rarest and most expensive games on the PS2. And that is Dot Hack Part 4 Quarantine. And yes, this is complete in box. You know, I've got the manual, I've got the anime DVD, I've got the game. So finally I've got, you know, the last of the original Dot Hack Quartet. And this is, again, one of the rarest because, you know, Law of Diminishing Returns, Dot Hack Part 1 sold decently well, but as it kept going, you know, continuing the same story, it got lower and lower and lower. And so, you know, in terms of sales. And so this last copy, you know, this last version probably sold less than 100,000 copies worldwide. So it's very hard to find. And I was shocked to see it in person and at a decent price too. If you go on like pricecharting.com, it'll show, you know, complete in box. This is going for around $260 to $270 right now. And I picked this up for $260. So definitely glad to add this to my collection. I do need to get the Dot Hack GU trilogy on PS2 to round it out, but I do also have the remasters of those. But now that I have Part 4, I can actually, you know, maybe probably play through all of the Dot Hack games. So, excuse me. Definitely glad to add this to my collection. So that is it for now. This is the, you know, large stack of games that I got this time around. So that is it for now. I will see you guys next time. Excuse me. I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe.